Hi, I'm McKenna Martin, and I'm a senior at Liberty High School. I'm the president of the Olentangy Liberty Chamber Orchestra. I play guitar, I ski, and I like to hike. I have taken 4 APs and 4 CCP classes.
Do you feel like you've taken enough, or do you feel behind?
I do not feel like I have taken enough APs and CCPs.
What aspects of your school life cause you the most stress?
Tests and grades would cause me the most stress.
What comes with stress? Breakouts, headaches, anxiety?
For me, what comes with stress is anxiety. I get acne breakouts, just an overall tightness and growth off my body.
How do you cope with stress?
Typically cope with stress through like exercise, sportings. I think it's less stressful when you enjoy what you're learning.
Do you enjoy what you're learning, or are you cramming?
I feel like I enjoy what I'm learning, but sometimes I have to cram to learn. I don't think most people enjoy what they're learning when they're taking a lot of APs.
Do you think you stress more now than you did as a freshman?
I think I stress more as a freshman than I do now. But the main thing that has helped me has been therapy and medication.
Do you think social media plays a role in stress?
Normally, I don't think social media impacts my stress levels much. But however, as a senior and seeing where everybody else is going to college and seeing all these people going to Ivies or very high-level institutions, it can make you feel a little self-conscious about your future and make you wish that you would have done more, even if you already gave so much.
Hi, my name is Ms. Zaran, and I am an English teacher here at Liberty High School. I teach Honors 10, CP9, AP Research, and AP Seminar. I have been teaching, this will be my 10th year. So when I went to high school here, the building was brand new. So I was actually the first graduating class at Liberty. And I think we only had 3 AP English classes, or I think even just AP classes in general. We had AP English, we had AP Gov, AP Psych, and maybe an AP math class. And our classes being so small, I think maybe I had 200 people in my graduating class, so 250. So it was much smaller, and I would say much more personal. Everybody knew each other, I feel like now it's just big. Everything is much bigger. When I was in high school, the pressure was obviously to get into a good school and to do all the things, right? But it wasn't as intense as it is now. I noticed it probably year 3 or 4 into teaching here at Liberty that there was a pretty seismic shift in sort of how students were reacting, what classes they were taking, how many APs they were taking, and so on and so forth. It was pretty noticeable. Part of me wonders if social media kind of plays a big part in that. We're playing this whole game of comparing, right? I think that parental pressure, has maybe shifted a little bit. I try to be really patient and kind and empathetic. I try to talk them through it. I try to offer some perspective, I think, where I feel like students really put a lot of pressure on themselves. So I try to let people feel their feelings, but also offer, some wisdom with age, if that makes sense. I don't know, when I talk to my students, I see a lot of my students asking their friends or what other people, how many classes are you taking? I feel like there's that big comparison. And I think also students are trying to get work done faster, right? Where it's oh, I can take a CCP class 2 full years and English done in 1 year, right? Taking courses over the summer. And I think that mentality, naturally causes a lot of stress. I teach college prep, I teach honors, and I teach AP. So I feel like I have a nice spectrum of students in front of me. I think the students that are the most stressed are the ones that are trying to get ahead and, I don't want to say cut corners, but cut corners, right? To sort of get the GPA, boost the GPA, to take as many AP classes as possible. Because my question to you would be why are you doing that? And I find that the students who are just trying to maybe check those boxes off tend to be the ones that overload, overcommit, and end up being the most stressed.
My name's Dave Hale. I've been a math teacher here since the school opened, and I taught everything throughout the course of my career. I'm also the head boys volleyball coach and the co-tech chair for the school.
How has the school environment changed since you started teaching here?
Since the very beginning, it's changed because we've gotten a lot bigger. Like when we first opened the school, only half the classrooms in the math hallway were filled. In general, I think those first couple of years that we opened up the school, there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for the school, a lot of school spirit because you're opening a brand new school. And then since then, it's kind of waned a little bit.
Yeah. I know I asked in the beginning like how the environment has changed, but specifically, how do you think the stress level has changed? Do you think students have always been as the pressure to high achieve?
I think so. I think that one thing that's changed has been the impact of social media. I think it really has affected things. In some ways really isolates people because they can find themselves only in that area where they're just doing stuff online, whether it's texting or things with the other social media, instead of actually getting with people and having discussions with people.
What factors have the most influence on a student's mental health?
There's social, who they're friends with, how they get to interact with those friends, what their workload looks like, whether they have an outside job, whether they're in sports, other activities. There's lots of factors that come into play.
Do you think Liberty has higher standards than other schools?
I think we definitely have a high standard for grades. I think that the parents expect the kids to do well in school. I think the kids expect themselves to do well in school. There's a lot of pressure that the students all are being very successful in the classroom and that sort of thing, and that is expected that they continue on with that success. I think that if kids will just keep in mind if I do the best that I can, regardless of the result, I should be happy with it. I think sometimes they try and live up to other standards, and what they really should do is live up to their own standards of what's me putting forth the best effort.
How can you tell when students are stressed?
Honestly, the thing that I see a lot when students are stressed is they have a tendency to shut down and do nothing. And what I would really encourage students to do is to, if you're feeling stressed, just make a list of your things that need to be accomplished and just work on getting one thing done off that list at a time.
I think there is definitely a grind culture at Liberty to take the most APs, be in the most extracurriculars, get into the best school, and like everybody's trying to do everything even though they don't enjoy it, and then everybody just ends up sad and depressed.
Once again, it goes down to that like comparison, what it means to be prestigious, what it means to get into a good school, right? And I think that like influences the academics, right? But I think we wouldn't put so much pressure on those academics if the social piece wasn't so intense. Everyone who is applying to college, you're gonna get into college, all right? You're gonna be great, you're gonna have a great college experience, you'll have a great education, right? So try not to, try to engage in the process, to be like a learner and to be curious and inquisitive, and try not to put so much pressure on like the prestige of it all.
I think there's a way out. It's just whether or not people are willing to see that way out and are able to even notice that they are like in the grind culture. So I think people need to become more aware of it and like start taking better care of themselves at a younger age so they don't get stuck in the cycle of grind culture and just get burnt out into adulthood.